All praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And I'm going to call this video Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi has caused a stir in the earth, man. And a lot of people would have seen now this information that's came out with this guy Charlie Kirk being unalived, right? And here's the thing, right? And I'm not trying to say that I made this happen, right? But I was real angry a couple of days ago, man. And I turned that anger into a prayer towards Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And it was on the day of that black moon, when there was that blood moon or something like that, right? And I was asking Yahweh to do something on this earth to really humble these people, man, so that there's something that's undeniable that he caused it to happen, man. Right? Now, I was hoping for something like spiritual to happen, man. Like people see some crazy, like something crazy out of this earth, man. But this is enough, right? And I'm not saying that Yahweh heard me from heaven and answered my prayer, but this is a thing that's caused a big stir in the earth, man. Right? It's caused a huge stir in the earth, and like some of you, I want to say this as well, man. Some of you Jakes, man, like Anton Daniels and that. Anton Daniels is a real coon, man. Right? I'm just gonna say it, man. Like some people say he ain't, but I'm saying he is because when he was doing all his videos on the Hebrew Israelites, he never ever once decided to do a video on his YouTube channel and pray. From what I've seen, he never said, you know what, let's pray for the Hebrew Israelites so that they can find the true gospel. But when he found out that this guy's unalived, man's praying, talking about in Jesus' name and that, I'm thinking, what are you talking about, bro? Sit your ass down, man. Shut your mouth, man. Fake ass Rick Ross. Like this guy is a joke, man. He actually prayed on his YouTube channel. He actually prayed for this guy. I pray that he makes it. Well, your prayer wasn't answered. So that shows how much that Jesus name stuff talking about, man. The name of the Lord isn't Jesus, it's Yahawashi. He was there praying for the man's life to be saved and all that. Mate, it didn't. Your prayer didn't work, bro. You ain't no one when it comes to the Bible. You ain't nothing, man. You think you are, right? Because you can bite, because you've been secretly trying to bite the Israelites on certain points, right? Like a lot of you people have been biting the Israelites on certain points, man. Like even Corey Holcomb said a few things on his last 5150 show that I was like, man, this guy's been listening to the Hebrew Israelites, man. He's talking about how, according to the Bible, technically, when you sleep with a man, that's your husband. I was like, oh, this guy's been listening to the Israelites, right? And what he said was that he made a point, but he really heard that from the Israelites, man. He really heard that from the Israelites. And the proof that these people hear these things from the Israelites is that they'll say all of these points, but when it comes to actually going to the verse to prove it, they don't know where the verse is because it's not really in them like that. They're just biting what they've heard, man. But they won't admit that they've done it though, because to admit that you listen to the Hebrew Israelites is dangerous, right? Especially if you want to try and be in that fame money world, which is why that Ringo TV guy, he said, "Oh, I'm done with this because every time people hear my Israelite, they and they this and this, as if you have to go around telling everyone that you're Israelite anyway. You don't have to go around telling everyone that. Just live your life in your private life, and then believe in the Lord, man. No one's telling you to blab your mouth off and say everything you believe, because nobody does that. Nobody should be doing that at work anyway. But yeah, man, this video is going to be about how Yahweh's causing a stir in the earth, man. And I want to go to this scripture here because that event that took place is ultimately prophecy, right? And a couple of days ago, I did a video on how they ain't just gonna be able to blame Jake all the time and throw Jake under the bus to try and make out like we are the ones that are doing everything on the earth, right? And this guy that was unalived, and I'm gonna go on his channel from another screen that y'all ain't gonna be able to see, but a couple of days ago he did a video, right? Let me just go on the channel and see it. I want to see the information on his channel, which is called Charlie Kirk or at Real Charlie Kirk, right? On his channel, and it was what I think it was 2 days ago. Let me just see, man, because he did a video on that thing that happened to that Ukrainian Edomite woman, where she got unalived by some big Jake hitting her in the neck with a blade, right? Which was brutal, but you people don't understand the scriptures, man. And one of the elders, he did a video on that, which I came to the conclusion when I was watching it as well. I was like, man, that's messed up, man. And it was making me think about any people in my family that I wouldn't want them to just be on a train and have that happening to them, or just be walking around in public and have that happen to them. But then who knows how that woman fled from Ukraine to get all the way over to the UK, man. Did she have a man before in Ukraine and then bounced and tried to commit some adult and been committing all kind of adultery on him, just enjoying America while he's over there still catching hell? Is that what she did to get over here? Because then is that really that much of an honourable woman? No, it's not. It's not really an honourable woman, is it? I can't find the exact video that he did to show when he did a video on that thing, but he was just talking all this black criminal stuff. That's all he was saying. Oh, let's just not beat around the bush. This black criminal, some white woman, and this black criminal. Well, what color was the criminal that shot you? You're gonna blame that on black. How y'all gonna blame that on black people? And they're sitting back thinking about how they can blame it, and when they realize they can't, they'll be like, well, oh, we're gonna say the left then. Oh, it was the left hand of what? The left hand of the so-called white race, bro. So let's speak how it is. And Anton Dans, from what I saw, there's a bit of the video I watched of him talking about this. He wasn't trying to talk about how so-called white people are violent or nothing like that. But when it comes to a video where a so-called black person commits a crime, then he's quick to run his mouth about that and say, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to cut any corners. I'm not going to... Mates, don't cut it with everyone then. If you're really standing on business and he's quick to tell these 3 or 4 hoes about themselves and about how they ain't going to get no high value man. They ain't shit. The men that make the kind of money he makes, they don't give a fuck about them. All right, well, stand on business when it comes to talking about Esau then as well. But really, you're just a Stefan from that Django Unchained that's going to be prepared to say whatever you think is going to make a so-called white man be able to sleep good at night, man. Until they finally turn on your ass and show you that, mate, listen, man, you dark chocolate Negro with glasses on. We don't like you neither, but thanks for all the cooning that you did over the years. But we don't like you. We feel that you're used now. And now we're going to get your ass. And I've been seeing that plenty of people in the comment section that are Edomites, they don't give 2 bleeps about this guy being unalive, man, which shows that there's a divide between the house of Esau. And I saw Apostle Yahawah was talking about this, and he said, a house divided amongst itself cannot stand, and this house is divided amongst itself, man. Esau is fruit. Esau is all over the place, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men and invade. Now, had this guy have been unalived, right, while believing in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, that would have been honorable. But ultimately, he was unalive for trying to save America, which Yahawah is going to destroy anyway. Now, I already can hear you Edomite racists being with, oh, just go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. Nah, I'm going to stay where I'm at. And hope that Yahawashi comes with the chance to take me back to Israel. Forget Africa. I'll go Africa in the kingdom when I got a new body and see what's up with Africa. Right? And I'll go Europe as well in the kingdom. And I'll go Asia in my new body, man. You ain't telling me where to go and where not to go. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? You go back to Mount Seir before you start telling us where to go. You go back to where you're from. Yeah? Y'all have been having too much fun on this earth, man. And Yahawah's starting to make your own nation turn against its own self, so that you can't try and make it about race. If it would have been a so-called black person that did this, they could have found some way to try and make it about race. If it would have been anyone else that had belonged to any other nationality beside Esau, they could have tried to make it about race. No, you're going to have to take the beam at your own eye. Yeah? Take your own beam at your own eye. Yeah, y'all want to talk about black and black crime, black thugs in Chicago. Okay. What about this thug that laying down one of y'all fellow Edomites, man? Y'all are so civilized, right? This geezer landed a shot from about 108, I think it was 182 meters away. 182 meters. That's a hell of an aim, man. 182 meters. That's almost 200-meter races, man. That takes the fastest men in the world like 19 seconds plus to run that distance, man. That's a hell of a, you know what I mean? That would have meant that if Usain Bolt was in front of this guy and he tried to run away, that this guy would have he would have still been in range to be shot for 19 seconds, the fastest man on earth. That's how much this guy loves murder and loves unalivement. But y'all want to cry and always quick to try and make things about race whenever we do something. Or usual suspects, blah, blah, blah. Mate, what about this? Sometimes you got to watch your own nation, you hypocrites, man. What are you saying about this? You can't blame this on black people. And I did a video about that a couple of days ago, man. You ain't going to be able to always just throw Jake under the bus and blame the so-called black man. You women ain't going to be able to. You men ain't going to be able to. You ain't going to be able to always just blame no patriarchy. No, what have you did, man? Because these women want to run their mouth about all this patriarchy stuff, yeah? But what about when they're getting caught for doing dodgy things with school children now? What about when they're getting caught doing this stuff now then? How's that men's fault? But they're always trying to look for a way to try and blame someone else. No, what about what you've been doing in life, man? And you people ain't got no answers biblically as to why these things happen, but we have though, right? 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 15, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, this is going to cause a stir between the so-called right and the so-called left, which are just basically two different belief systems within the Edomites. Now, all you Jakes and all you other people that are not Edomites that want to try and put yourself in the mix, the left or the right of that don't really give two shits about your opinion in there. But they'll allow you to be in the left side a bit if it makes the left seem like it's got more numbers. But ultimately, when they're planning everything on how the left wants to rule the earth, right, they're planning it without you in mind. And when the right's planning how they want to do things, they're planning it without you in mind, that you might be able to be there for a while they're building things up, but they ain't got it in their mind that they want you to be there, because the Edomites in general only care about themselves. Now, among the elite level of the right and the left, they kind of are like, okay, we kind of want to steer the MOTB system this way, and others like, nah, we should steer it more this way. But they understand that the way how they want to use the beast system, right? And it ultimately does not involve you Jakes having no power in them and or having no good life or betterment for yourself. They don't want that for you. That's not what they're talking about, man. They don't want that for you guys, man. They don't want you to have a part and an enjoyment in this society. They could give two bleeps if you get some fun down here, man. And that's why they've got a saying out here and a slogan, you'll own nothing and be happy. How are you going to own nothing and be happy? How? That's not real, bruv. Because what the scriptures talk about is that before we even pray for something, before we even realize we want something, we're going to have it, man. Now, parents would be able to understand this concept because they might be watching their children as they're growing up as babies or whatever and be like, oh, man, I squeezed his toe on his shoes and he needs some new shoes. And before the child even realizes that the shoes are too small, their parents bought them some new shoes already. Before the child realized that their coat's too small, the parents bought them a new coat already. When the season's changing, the parents already bought the child a new coat for the winter, a thinner coat for autumn. You know what I mean? A woolly hat, gloves and scarf. Well, that's how Yahawah's going to deal with us in the kingdom. Right? That's the kind of way Yahawah is going to deal with us in the kingdom, man. Before we even ask for the thing, we have it. Before we even realize we wanted it or needed it, we got it, man. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. The course of this man's actions that wanted to unalive this Charlie Kirk guy stood in his power. Did he have the aim to get him? Yes, he did. Did he have the weapon to get him? Yes, he did. Was he able to sneak in and do whatever was done or whatever? Yeah. And Yahawah made him be able to do it, man. And you can't blame that on no other race. Your own people did it, man. You can't blame Jerome for this. Nah, Jerome would have missed, bro. Jerome ain't landing no shot from that far away. He's missing. You Edomites are the ones that learn all that kind of stuff. And also, I want to say this, man. All you Jakes out there in Chicago that are thinking that you're going to roll on Esau and talking about we got switches. You better switch that plan right away, man. Because the spirit of the Lord is not on you. Like, y'all think you're bad. It's easy to be tough when 5 of you run down one Jake that's unarmed and catch him in an alleyway, right? Or the gangway, as y'all call it, yeah? I caught him in the gangway, yeah? And y'all think you're bad because 5 of you against one unarmed teenager and you're all teenagers yourself. That's okay, you're bad, yeah? But it's a bit different when you're against an adult man that hates your guts because you're a so-called black man as what he sees it. And he's been training and he didn't really join the army because he wanted to save America. He joined the army really because he was hoping that he'd get to take it out on the citizens, you in particular. That's a bit different. So all this, we got switches taught that y'all are talking about. Dead that's bullshit. Y'all are going to end up smoked if y'all think that that's going to happen, man. It's not going to work, bro. So I suggest y'all chill. The scriptures say, follow not a multitude to do evil. Any of you jakes that are thinking y'all want to join in with some of these knuckleheaded idiots that are thinking they're going to roll up, mate, don't join in with them, man. Believe in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Forget what they're talking about. They're just going to get smoked. They ain't going to do nothing, bro. They ain't going to, right? I don't see how they're going to do anything, man. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? These people are going to be wanting to try and travel throughout this stuff's going to happen. What happened to this guy is going to happen more. They lost the so-called, this guy was actually quite, I was actually subscribed to one of this guy's channels. And when it came to talking about all these alphabet BS, right, he used to actually go in. But I could see that this guy was on that, we don't deserve reparations, black people this, black people. I could see that in him, but I still stayed subscribed, right? This guy used to try and somewhat mention things to do with God, somewhat, but these people ain't really on the Bible, man. They ain't on the Bible. They ain't on the Bible, bro. And who knows, man? Whether Esau's up to his old tricks? Who knows the reasons why this happened, man? They could have wanted to try and make him seem like he's something more than he is, man. Who knows, man? You know what I mean? But either way it goes, to be honest with you, I could care less. Oh, I found the video. It was from one day ago. The video is 28 minutes, 16 seconds. And he was doing a video talking about how, and he kept saying, oh, black criminal this and black criminal that and all that. Right? But the person that unalived him, they weren't that though. So what's he got to say about that? What's he got to say about that? And any of you people that you want to run your mouth say, oh, that's absolutely evil and abomination that you're not caring about this man dying. You wouldn't care if I passed away. If you found out that I was going to pass away or that I had something wrong with me or that I got unalive, y'all wouldn't care. Because you'll be like, well, he's an Hebrew Israelite. Fuck him. That's what they get. You'd say that's what they get for believing in a hateful doctrine. You wouldn't care. In the past, your people crucified Yahawashi even though you knew that he didn't do nothing wrong. You knew that it was because of jealousy that the Jews had a problem with him, and you still caused him to be unalive, man. So don't try it, bro. Don't try it, fam. Yeah, y'all got all the mouth to try and make it about colour whenever it's thingy. Y'all were quick to say black people kill black people. What about black people killing black people? So for anyone that wants to complain about this Ukrainian woman being unalived by that black man, so-called black man, before you mention that, mention the so-called white man that killed Charlie Kirk. Before you mention that, yeah, mention that man first. And then before you mention anything else, mention all the people that have been unalive that are so-called white people amongst themselves in Russia and Ukraine. Mention all of them too. Don't mention anything to do with us yet until you mention and deal with your own problems that's going on within your nation. Yeah? Go mention that first. Because y'all are against immigration and against all of this and all of that, right? But she's Ukrainian, so she shouldn't have been in Ukraine anyway. That so-called black man that did it, he was born in America. But y'all wouldn't have cared if you switched up the race, man. Because y'all are hypocrites. But anyway, verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. People are going to be real afraid and terrified. This would have scared a lot of people, man, because some of these people on this earth that have all of these certain belief systems that are popular to have, even though they're kind of going against the grain. They think they're invincible. And Yahawah, by making an Edomite be able to do this, has shown that they ain't invincible, man. You people are not, nobody on this earth is invincible. Yahawah could cause for some same things to happen like this tonight, man. Or today. Right? He could cause that to happen tonight or today, man. Or this evening. No one on this earth is invincible to escape judgment if Yahawah chooses that that's what he wants you to face. Nobody. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. When this takes place, women are going to be humbled, man, because they do not deal well in the realm of that. When I saw that video of this Charlie Kirk guy being unalived, right, all I heard was women's screams. Most of these women are so fat, they can't even run. Even in a chaos scenario, they'd struggle to run a mile, man. And they probably had sandals on. You know what I mean? Like, and this is really not even an on-topic thing, man. Not really, but it kind of is, though. I can't stand, when I see men in particular walking around with sandals on and shorts, man. With their long calcaneus ankle just dripping out, man. Just walking around in sandals in the city centre. As if everything's just bare safe. Like, mate, nah. If you needed to run, you should be wearing clothes that if you needed to run or needed to get the hell out of somewhere, you can. Now, it's already bad enough that women do it, but women are buffoons anyway, man. To be honest with you, they don't know what's going on. But you're supposed to have things set up to where you can get away from somewhere if something goes down, man. Women are already fools. They'll go to a nightclub wearing some 6-inch heels, mashing up their foot bottom, right? And then expect a man to give them a piggyback to the car, or expect a man to give them a piggyback to the train, or take them off and then walk barefoot. They're such fools that they'll pick the man that they want to be with based on whether they can be taller than him, shorter than him, if they still have high heels on, man. But high heels are not real. You understand? And as I'm looking at this video on the TV about this Ukrainian woman, they keep just talking about how, like, and you know what, man? I heard one of the elder Manata Zakba say, "Oh, I wouldn't have even sat in front of this guy. I wouldn't have sat in front of this guy neither, mate. You think I'm sitting in front of some Jake with dreads and a red hoodie on, man? Hell nah, bro. I don't want." And he said, "I don't like people sitting behind me. I don't like people sitting behind me neither. I would have probably sat the other side of the train, to be honest with you. I would have stood up, man. I don't like people behind me neither on the train. I've never liked people behind me. When I was in school, I wouldn't sit with people behind all up behind me. When I was in college, I didn't want to sit with people all up behind me. In university, I didn't even like people sitting all up behind me neither, man. I'd never like people sitting all up behind me. On a bus, I don't like people sitting behind me. On the train, I don't like people sitting behind me. I don't like that. And this is part of the reason why. If I wear headphones now, I don't wear 2 headphones in my ears. I wear one so that I can be able to listen to what I'm trying to listen to, but also be able to hear what's going on around me as well. Right? Now, you gotta be wise out here, especially all you women that are weaker vessels. You should be more wise, man. Don't just be walking through the city proud, thinking you have to put yourself in a position to where you can be safe, man. Had she have just sat somewhere else, she'd have been all right. He didn't. He looked suspicious, man. I'm going to keep it real. He looked suspicious. Big dreads. A red hood. Like, mate, men ain't even supposed to have long hair, man. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. She had her headphones in, I think. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you, man. You can't just be... People can say whatever they want to say. Oh, you should be able to do this and you should be able to... Okay, you should be able to, but you can't, though. The world ain't safe, man. Even when you're walking up, approaching somebody, or this is what I do anyway. Like, if you're walking up, approaching somebody, and they look a bit dodgy, and even if they don't, you'll be thinking, if they try and do this move, what am I going to do in defense to that? And you might not be able to fulfill it out properly, but you thinking about some self-defense, man. If they try and punch me, I'm gonna grab that arm and push them and run. If they try and kick me, I'm gonna grab that leg and, you know what I mean? Think about something, man. Or, oh, that person looks dodgy. You know what? I'm just gonna cross the other side of the road. I'm just gonna cross over to the other side of the road. That looks like a wicked Eve with a hair on her head. Nah, I ain't trying to deal with that right now. I'm crossing over the other side of the road. Like the other day, I seen some Jake arguing with some police, and then I didn't know what was going on at first, and then I was like walking closer to try and see what it was, and I seen that it was some, like, one of them tall Jakes that are shredded with muscles arguing with some police. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this today. I'm taking a long route round all of this, and I ain't trying to deal with that. And I got around the whole thing and didn't have to deal with that, man. Because sometimes it's better to just, like, if you're walking on the street and you see some Jakes that look like they're on some madness, don't try and be proud. I'm going to walk through. Fuck that. I'm going to walk through. They can't make me cross over the other side of the road, man. Even if it means you have to cross back over afterwards. So what, man? Avoid the bullshit, because what Jake will do is stand in the way. Jake will stand in the way of somewhere that they know that people have to get past, and then complain when they don't say excuse me. But nigga, you're standing in the way. They'll stand in the way of a train station platform or train station path, all up in the way with their bags on the floor, coats on the floor, right? When they could just wait down at the platform, and then they have a problem when you don't say excuse me, but they know they're standing there in the way though. Or they'll be eyeing you from both sides now when you're trying to walk through. Mate, just put your coat on, move yourself down to the platform and fucking relax, nigga. But they don't do that though. Like, this world is demonic as hell, but you people, y'all are proud, so y'all are gonna deserve everything that you get. When Yahawah let's get the prophecy, man. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Yahawah clearly didn't have no more use for that man Charlie Kirk on this earth. He fulfilled his lot. That's why he's not here no more. Whatever use Yahawah had for him in terms of the story of the Bible on the earth, he lived it out, right? Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. So in the heavenly realm and on earth, the Israelites are complaining to Yahawah. I was crying to Yahawah a couple of days ago, praying to him and saying, jack this world up, man, and cause these people to be humbled, man. Because they're proud as hell. And they don't think on you ever, right? And they're hoping that they're going to be able to have a kingdom without you in general. Verse 9, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So there's going to be way more wrath for the house of Esau, man. Now Esau, let's not make no mistakes about it. Esau is definitely going to have his chance to have a go at the nation of Israel, man. He's even going to be given a chance to honor alive some members of the elect of the nation of Israel that are going to fulfill Revelation 20 and 4. And when that happens, don't start thinking that if one of the brothers that you know, something like that, loses their life by Revelation 24, don't think, oh man, he must have been wicked. He wasn't of the elect because Yahweh wouldn't have made him go through that. No, he was of the elect. That's why Yahweh made him go through that. He wasn't of the elect if he goes through the prophecy of Revelation 14, where they get destroyed for taking an MOTB. But he is of the elect if he still believes in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, refused to take the MOTB, and because of that was unalived. That means he is of the elect, right? Don't start betraying and turning on your brother in that time, thinking, oh, he wasn't of the elect. But no, if you see somebody take the MOTB, then they're not of the elect, right? If you see somebody using a digital payment system though, like they're using their phone to pay for things now, don't start thinking, oh, he ain't of the elect because he's using his phone for payments, because you probably use your card for contactless payments. I've used my card for contactless payments a couple of times this week. Is that the MOTB? No, it's not. But some buffoon jakes will say, yeah, it is. No, it's not, man. That's not that, bro. It's not. The MOTB is something that's going to go internal, right? It's an internal thing, man. And that video is brutal, man. That video is brutal. But then he like, even when the guy was walking through the train, like, because this world became such a zombie society, right? And you know what? Let me get this scripture, man. Because iniquity shall abound, the other many shall wax cold. Now I've seen some people on here talking about, oh, men wasn't doing this and men wasn't doing that. Why should men just get involved and try and defend this when women in this society have shown that they don't give a two bleeps about men? So when something goes on, men are gonna be like, well, okay, women don't care about me. I'm not gonna receive no honor for trying to save nobody anyway. And if I was to save the woman too harsh and do something too harsh to help the woman, then I might end up risking going to jail for a woman that don't care about me. So why should I? That's another thing that these women have not understood. You can't go around disrespecting men all the time, claiming to be equal with men, and then complain that men don't get involved. Did any women get involved to help? To help detain that man? No. And from what I saw in the video, more men was getting involved to try and help the woman than anyone else after she had it happen to her. But how you can't prepare for that anyway. Nobody on this earth could have defended against an attack from their blind side that they're not expecting while they're just sitting down, mind their business on their phone. There's not no way you can defend against that, man. And that's why before you even end up in that situation, just maneuver yourself in a way that you can see what's around you, man. There was seats behind. She could have sat on a seat behind. And then at least if she saw the guy get up now and approach and move up to her, she would have been able to put her hands up and push him away, try and grab the weapon or something like that, scream, right? Because a woman's scream is like a screech, man. That's why in the scriptures it even says that she should do that if a man's trying to R-word her, man, because a woman screams high-pitched and it's like an alarm, right? She would have been able to scream. She would have been able to do something out there to try and like get people's attention so that they could have helped her then. But she could have sat behind him so that she was able to see what's around her. Because the place where he hit her with the weapon, he was able to easily get there because she was right in front of him. Now, some women out there will say, oh, I shouldn't have to do that. Okay, don't do it then. But then men also don't have to help you. You understand that? You can understand that you shouldn't have to do this and you shouldn't have to do that. Men shouldn't have to and don't have to help you. You understand? They don't have to help you. Like women in this society, they don't feel obliged to help men with anything on this earth. Even some of these men's wives in this earth don't even feel obliged to make him release one off. You understand? Some men's wives, men that actually went down an aisle with their wife don't even feel obliged that she should have to sleep with their husband. Yet women feel like men should be obliged. They have to help them fight against some big overgrown geezer with a weapon in his hand. Mate, what are you talking about? Yet they're talking about toxic masculinity in a situation where you need a man to fight and defend something. What women call toxic masculinity, which is really just a man being a man, that's needed. That's needed in times like that. The thing that women call toxic masculinity is not toxic masculinity. It's just masculinity. But the thing that women call toxic masculinity is needed in all these situations that they cry about when they always want a man to step in and try and help. But anyway, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the other many shall wax cold, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So we as Israelites, we got to go through all this earth where all this wickedness is going on, right? And we've got to overcome it, man, and still keep making it through to the end. That's not the worst of what we're going to see. There's going to be way worse things than that we're going to see, man. That's nothing. There's going to be way more gruesome things that's going to be shown to this earth, man. Jacob's trouble is going to be a lot, bro. Like Esau hasn't even really experienced nothing yet and they're crying, man. These Edomites are going to be spazzing over this whole Charlie Kirk thing, but that was done at the hands of their own nation. That was done at the hands of their own people, man. And who knows whether there was some underhanded dirt behind the scenes that took place to make this stuff go on, man. Who knows, man? Like this world, even we're fighting against spirits out here, like, bugged out spirits that are trying to make us think some stupid madness, man. all the time. We're all the time battling against all this bugged out stuff, man. Verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right? Because of the elect being on this earth, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is going to shorten the days so that we can end up actually existing to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because if the days wasn't shortened, right, we wouldn't exist, man. Esau would end up destroying everything. He'd end up getting the kingdom that he wants, and then between themselves, battling amongst themselves like some alien Earth. Like that's a good show, by the way. But like on that alien Earth thing, all you're seeing is Esau's just got the world as he wants, and he's just doing bogged out things, man's collecting, which spoiler alert, man. Spoiler alert, yeah. They got a society where they can just grab them alien predator things and just bring them to Earth, and they and just do experiments on them. Why would you want to do that? Look, have you seen what that alien thing looks like? It's a madness. But they're just trying to do experiments on it, like just being demons, man. That's all Esau would do. He'd just keep finding new things and start, oh, how can I use this for my benefit? He'd just be a bug out. He'd just keep finding more and more ways to splice the genes or something to destroy this and destroy that. The guy's an idiot, man. And I'm going to end the video there, man. I'm going to end the video there. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, he's causing a stir in the earth, man. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.